Hi everyone and welcome to another video from Colour with Claire. Today we're looking at this very special Scrawlrbox. So for those of you who don't know, Scrawlrbox is a subscription service, so you pay £15 a month and one box will arrive at your house per month and it's packed full of different kinds of art supplies. It's a blind box, so you never quite know what you're getting. It always features an artist of some kind, and it does have a challenge for you to complete if you feel so artistically inclined. So this is a special box because it's the 50th box, so this has been going for, I guess, 50 months, and because this is the 50th one, it's somewhat of an anniversary box. So let's have a look inside. I have opened it up just to save time unwrapping everything, but I haven't properly looked at what we've got inside. So everything comes wrapped in tissue paper. And here is what we have in this special 50th box. So first of all, I'm just going to pull out the little menu card that you get, which tells you a little bit about everything that's included in the box. So I'll just read this out. It says, to celebrate our 50th edition, we've teamed up with one of our favourite YouTube artists and her favourite colour. Take on the challenge and see if you can create a mini masterpiece with this limited colour palette. Rin says she's been inspired by OOTD, I'm not sure what that is, and fashion a lot recently, so why not recreate your individual dress style or interpret what you're wearing today into a completely purple outfit. Just don't forget to add a hint of glitter and make it catwalk ready. So Rin is the YouTuber who runs the channel Drawing with Waffles, and I absolutely love that channel, so I'm really excited to see her being the featured artist for this box. So in the box, let's have a look what we've got. First of all, it's some Copic pens. So these are the very expensive, very high quality alcohol markers that we all know of. It says that this is a Copic purple doodle pack. This convenient little pack is the perfect introduction to Copic products. With a combination of colour-coordinated pens and markers, you'll have everything you need to start making creative doodles and drawings. This set includes 2 Ciao double-sided markers, a glitter pen and a 0.3mm Copic multiliner. The Ciao markers feature a twin tip design that has medium chisel tip and creative brush tip, which we know. The glitter pen is great for adding a hint of sparkle to your projects, and the multiliner pen has a high quality nib, a very pigmented bleed proof ink to give you colour that lasts. So let's have a look at everything individually one by one. So we've read through the Copic doodle pack, and I don't think I've ever seen these little small Copic packs before. I don't know whether this has been put together for this box or whether Copic do these in different colours, I'm not sure. But as you can see, you've got your 2 Copic Ciao pens, and let's open it up so we can see properly what they look like. So I'm just going to pull the whole thing out. So the Copic Ciao are the cheaper of the 2 main brands of Copic. So you'll have Copic Ciao and you'll have Copic Sketch. Sketch markers have more ink and they have a larger sort of flat oval barrel, whereas these have less ink and they have a rounded barrel. So they also come in more colours, the Sketch do, I think. That's why they're more expensive. But the colours that we've been given in this box is BV00 and BV04. So our blue violets, that's what the BV stands for. And these two should blend really, really nicely together because they're in the same family. The Copic multiliner is 0.3mm and it's in the colour wine. So I have played around with drawing fine liners that are different colours before, but not the Copic multiliner. I only have the black, which is actually here, so I can show it to you. That's my black Copic multiliner, and this one is the wine. So it's really nice to have a different colour. We'll test that out in a moment, as we will all of the different products. But that's really nice quality. And then the Copic Speaker At You pen, which is I think it's a 0.2, and it's a water-based pigment glitter pen. So you can see the tip there. So we'll test those out in a moment. Next on the menu is the Derwent white paint pen. This water-soluble white pen produces a highly opaque ink which can either be layered on top of your work or blended into it. You can create transparent washes simply by diluting the ink with brushing water onto your creation while it's still wet. Once dry, the ink will be fixed permanently so it can be used to create watercolour effects, bold splashes of pigment or subtle blends. When you need control and precision, the fine nib is great for adding delicate line work like cross-hatching. It works brilliantly alongside other media, so it's great for creating layered work with expressive marks that enhance your artwork. Excuse me. So I did actually review the Derwent paint pens, or it might have been the Derwent graph markers, excuse me, but I think they're, you know, very, very similar. So it just says permanent, highly light, fast, opaque paint pens. So I'm thinking that these are going to be very much like Posca pens. So you've probably seen Poscas, but these have a really, really small nib, 0.5 mil. And I'm guessing that you just have to pump it a little bit to get your ink through, but we will be giving that a go shortly. Next on the menu is the Faber Castell Dessin pencil. Faber-Castell has been creating high-quality pencils since 1660. Originating from Nuremberg, Germany, they continue to be one of the best recognised pencil makers in the world. The Dessin pencil is ideal for sketching, drafting or writing. Like other Faber-Castell pencils, the lead undergoes a special bonding process which strengthens the lead and allows for better sharpening, so you can effortlessly create precise lines and fine details in your sketches. So I haven't actually seen the Dessin pencil before. It kind of looks like it might be an equivalent to the something like this, the Statler Norris, I would say. It looks like a kind of a school grade pencil. It kind of has that same look to the barrel. It's hexagonal. It says it's a 2.5, which apparently is HB. So yeah, I'm just guessing this is Faber-Castell's sort of baseline pencil, really. We also have the Lyra Kneadable Eraser. It says this is a special purpose cleaning eraser designed to easily lift and remove traces of graphite. This eraser can be manipulated into various useful shapes and sizes to help tidy up your artwork easily and efficiently. It's an essential tool for all sketching artists and even comes with a handy storage case to help keep it clean. So it's wrapped up in a little bit of cellophane. Let's get this off. Should have probably gone through everything first, really, so that I wouldn't have to waste time doing this. There we go. So, Kneadable Eraser. You can basically pick off little bits of the rubber and shape it. So if you have a really intricate area that you want to erase, you can shape it like almost like clay and then erase that area. You can also use it with a pressing motion to lift up graphite and make things a bit lighter. So they're really versatile and they have a lot of different sort of uses. So I'm going to keep that in its little pot. Now we also get some kind of paper with each Scrawlrbox that we can actually use to create our masterpiece for this month's box, and this paper is Canson. It's called Canson at the Wall, 220 GSM, and we've got 2 sheets of it here, I believe. So just pure white paper. It says this is a revolutionary paper specifically designed for graffiti artists, illustrators and designers. The name comes from the fact that it behaves like a real wall, with design features that make it completely opaque, bleed-proof and double-sided. It is resistant to alcohol markers and enables you to draw clear and precise lines with very fine nibbed pens, as well as thick markers. Because of its unique design, ink will never bleed through, even when subject to heavy and repeated use of markers. So 2 sheets gives you 4 surfaces to scrawl on. Can you break the wall? Now, I've never heard of a paper that will not bleed through at all. You won't even have shadowing from alcohol markers. I didn't believe that paper existed outside of some sort of thick board or card. So I am definitely going to be testing this with loads and loads of heavy layer of alcohol markers and see if we can break through. It's a really kind of high, a high wall to build for itself, I think. So we'll see if it's insurmountable or not. Then, because it's the 50th box and it's very special anniversary, this is a special gift for you to celebrate our 50th box, and it's a Scrawlrbox pin badge. So this is the Scrawlrbox logo. As you can see, you always get a vinyl sticker with a different pattern on it every month to stick wherever you want, on your MacBook or anywhere you like. And this month we've actually got a proper metal pin badge, so that's really, really nice. It's like a limited edition pin badge. You could put that anywhere you like, or you could just save it. Really nice and heavy. And that's just a really sweet little gift, I think, to put in there to celebrate the 50th box, to say that you had one. I'll pop that back, and I'm probably gonna keep this in the in its wrapper, to be honest, to keep it nice and clean and safe. There we go. So you always get a little sweetie as well. This month we've got some Parma violets. Does everybody remember these from when they used to be sort of like a penny a tube? Showing my age there. Parma violets, they're not really my favourites, but I'm sure my kids will get into those, no problem. Now, Rin, who's from Drawing with Waffles, you might recognise her art style. She's absolutely fantastic, so talented. She can just pull off something like this very, very quickly from her head. You know, she's a true inspiration to me, and I do watch her channel. I've watched it for a long time. So on the back you get a little bit of information about the person who is featured. It says that Rin's been doodling in the margins of her school books from a young age. Yet art wasn't something she always put much time or thought into. When she was 14, she spent a stint in hospital and was diagnosed with life-threatening autoimmune disease. Although it was a scary and life-changing time, Rin was introduced to art supplies she'd never tried before in that hospital. She began keeping a sketchbook and brought it to her monthly chemical treatments. Her 12-hour chemotherapy sessions eventually ended, but drawing, much like her diagnosis, has stuck with her ever since. Rin didn't study illustration in college, it was just her and her sketchbook. She attributes self-doubt and insecurities to stunting her artistic growth in her teens. These negative thoughts would cause her to go weeks without drawing. She now tries to use her social media presence to share a lesson she's learned with that time, that enjoying the process is what allows us to grow, and the finished illustration doesn't reflect your value as a person. Oh, and of course, it's okay to draw for the fun of it. Then you've got all of her YouTube, Instagram and Twitter, which is Drawing with Waffles. So please go and have a look at her on YouTube. She's absolutely fantastic and really fun and engaging to watch as well. So obviously she's used the different media that are in this box to create her illustration. You can see that she's probably used the pigment liner to do all of the outlining, and then of course the two Copics as her purples. So let's have a go on this Canson paper, because I want to see if we can prove it wrong and get these Copic markers to bleed through and take up that challenge. So I'm using the Copic multi-liner, the 0.3, but before I do that I should use the pencil, shouldn't I, just to make sure that my drawing is okay before I ink it. So I'm going to try and draw one of Joanna Basford's flowers, because that's what I've been trying to learn to do recently. So let's just try and get a circle around here. I'm absolutely rubbish at trying to keep my hand straight and unshaky. So there we go, we've got a bit of a donut shape there. This is going to be quite a large flower actually, guys, so let's just go for it. I'm going to do a petal at north, south, east and west, as Joanna shows us on her Inky Art School. And then I'm going to fill in with 2 petals between. And some of them are fatter than others, I don't mind. They're really, really fat and different to each other, aren't they? Probably should take more time to get it looking better, but hey ho. Now I'm going to draw some big petals around it. So I'm going to move these around. Maybe I should do... No, I will. I'll carry on like this. Ooh. Okay, it's not too bad. It's not too bad for a first go. Now then, we've got to ink it. So let's try and make this look a little bit neater with our Copic multi-liner. This is a really nice liner actually. As I've said, I have the black one and it's really, really smooth. There's no sort of stuttering on the page. And I really love this wine colour. It's going to go so well with the purples. So I'm going to try and just neaten up these petals a little bit now that we're doing ink. But again, I'm not going to try and be perfect, because that's my downfall. I try and be perfect, and inevitably when it doesn't work out, I always become disappointed. But there we go. So that's the inside of our flower. Now let's go around these here. So I've made this rather large, and I suppose that's a good thing, because we're going to try and see how well these Copics blend, and of course do lots of layers and try and beat this paper. And it's set us up with a challenge, hasn't it, saying that nothing will bleed through or show through, so you've got all 4 sides to use. So I feel like I need to take up that challenge and put it to the test. Okay, so there's our flower. Let's erase all of our pencil lines, making sure that the ink has dried, which it has. There we go. I think Joanna would be pretty pleased with that. It's not as perfect as hers, of course, but I really like it. Okay, so let's give a go of these Copics. I'm going to start with the BV04 and pop some of that into the centre of the petal. And this is laying down really, really nicely, very smooth. There's no sort of patchy areas, so this is, for all intents and purposes, seeming like a really nice paper to use so far. Now then, let's see if we can get this to blend. It is much lighter, so there are 4 spaces between these colours. So this is BV00 and the BV04, so there's 4 or 5 spaces in between. So I wonder if we can get a blend between them. In doing this, I'm going to be using quite a few sort of heavy layers to try and get this blend going. So we really are putting this paper to the test. These aren't blending as nicely as I would have thought. I think we really do need those extra 4 colours between these to make it a more seamless blend. I'm just going to put loads and loads of ink down just to check the paper. Now, looking back at Rin's image, she didn't actually use them to blend, so maybe that's not the purpose of putting these 2 colours together, but it would have been nice, I think, to put 2, you know, blendable colours in rather than 2 that won't really go together. So yeah, I'm not really happy with that whatsoever, but let's have a look on the other side. Absolutely nothing. That is amazing, and I've really, really layered that ink. Let's carry on a little bit more. As you can see, usually by this time it would be completely saturated through the other side. That is amazing. I have never seen a paper, especially a paper that feels so deceptively thin, do that before. It's completely bleed proof, and not just bleed proof, but shadow proof. So I think the best thing to come out of this box for me so far is the fact that this paper is completely ideal and perfect for alcohol marker use. So I'll definitely be buying some of that. I'm sure it's very expensive, but it'll be fantastic to use this. Can you imagine if colouring books were made with this paper and you could just use any kind of materials, any alcohol inks that you wanted without fear of ruining what was on the other side? So even though I would have, you know, really liked the 2 Copics to be blendable Copics, I still really like this box because purple is my favourite colour, and it's always nice to supplement my Copic collection with some more when I can. So I'm not going to colour the whole flower, but let's try the Speaker at You pen. So this is the glitter. Let's just do some down here. Yes, I have reviewed these pens before, a very long time ago. They're really, really nice, very smooth. And I suppose you could sort of go along the edges and give it more of a glitter shine around there, around the petal. You could really do whatever you like. You could make it glittery in the centre. Let's just see how much glitter, or how glittery they are. Let me stand up. There we go. So you can see they're kind of packed full with glitter. So they're really, really nice to use. And let's have a go with this paint pen now. Let's try and draw some dots on top of here. So I'm going to give it a few little pumps. Give it a shake. You probably should do this with the lid on, by the way, otherwise you might end up with white everywhere. And hopefully I'm not going to end up with loads of big mountains of white ink everywhere. Oh, here we go, it's coming through. So let's give it a go. Oh wow. So that really is very, very opaque, isn't it? And unlike the Posca pen, each dot that you put down is very uniform. So, you know, you're not sort of splodging dots down and they're all different sizes, or, you know, spreading out and bleeding out. So I often find that with Posca. So I actually might be buying a few more of these white paint pens to use for my dotty nighttime skies, as I always do, because I've been looking for something that was a little bit better than the Posca and also the Sino, because this is the one I usually use, this one here, Uniball Sino, and it's just awful at not coming out properly and, you know, just creating sort of a weird line in between. So yes, definitely a fan of this paint pen. Hopefully it won't fade as some white pens do, so I'll just keep a few lines on the darkest areas of the flower just to see if it fades out. What else have we got to try? We've got to try this Kneadable Eraser. So let's do another little flower here with the Faber Castell Dessin pencil, and let's erase it. So actually, looking at this now, this blend isn't actually too bad, but you did have to use quite a lot of layering, quite a lot of ink to achieve that, and it's still not perfect. But I guess with your white pen you could kind of cover up any bits and bobs that aren't perfect with, you know, some decoration or something. So, you know, play with it. I'm not proficient in Copics and I don't, you know, purport to be. So let's try this Kneadable Eraser. So first of all, let's just pop it down like we would a piece of blue tack and lift it up. Now you can see immediately that that is much lighter than it was, and you can even see an imprint of the graphite of the flower on the Kneadable Eraser. So let's use it now as a proper eraser. See how we go. So, another thing that's great about these is they don't give off any bits of rubber, so you don't get all of those eraser debris that you usually do with a normal plastic eraser. So that's worked really, really well. You can barely see the flower anymore, so very, very pleased with that. And that's from Lyra, I believe. So overall, very, very happy with the 50th box. I really like that they've included a badge to celebrate it, and it's a bit of a limited edition, bit of a special thing. I do love that they've included Copics on their 50th box, because Copics are sort of the pinnacle in art materials, or certainly in pens for most people. And again, I think the best thing to come out of this is the paper, and possibly also this Derwent paint pen, because I've been looking for something like that, as I've said. So overall, I want to know what you think. I'm happy. I also love the multi-liner in the wine colour. I think it's beautiful, and I'll be using this no doubt in my Joanna Basford book to practice some drawing. So I realise that this hasn't been a very succinct video, and I've been rambling a little bit, but this is the first time I've used some of these, so really it's my first time with you looking at these materials, so I hope it hasn't been too rambly. But let me know in the comments what you think of this special box, and if you'll be subscribing to Scrawlrbox in the future. I'll leave a link in the description. It's not an affiliate or anything, but if you want to join, you can click there and get yourself next month's box. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you soon on Colour with Claire.